Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Let's go do show.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dylan. This is Zach.
Hello.
We are Some Nobodies, and this is Talking UpStream. Across the next 90 minutes, we will be the crossing guards on this intersection of creativity for you.
Ooh, clever.
I know. I had that one brewing.
Oh.
Generally, how the show works is that Zach and I are creators. We like to make content, and we thought what better way to force us into making content every week, but to have a TV show where we go through the writing process, the idea of creating ideas, and how to get ideas into something that you can have a little more depth to.
Yeah, and if you know us, you know Some Nobodies. We do roughly like 97 podcasts, and we have obviously a TV show right here on IBM TV. And we have meetings constantly, and we thought this was actually kind of a cool thing to show people is what Dylan learned with his education and what I've learned on the streets. And we put that together and we try to create content and create stories and show people how we do it and why we do what we're doing.
Yeah. So generally how this works, we're going to have a guest here for you in just a second. We will do a little interview with them, and then we will have two ideas, one of which will be picked. Zach and I each bring one to the table each week. They're not developed in any really substantial way. We choose one, or the guest does in this case, and then we spend the rest of the show kind of working through how we could envision that as a workable, developed product.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But before we get to any of that, I would like to know, how are you doing?
I'm okay.
Yeah?
It's been a long year this week.
This has been a long year. You're right. Especially this week.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
I almost signed up for Peacock.
Oh, really?
Yeah, almost. I didn't know what email to give them, so I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
But.
Now, I mean, with recent developments, we do have to address the elephant in the room that is on everybody's minds after Quibi shut down.
Quibi shut down.
Everybody's talking about it. The main networks called it.
You might not have liked it, but it's gone.
It's gone.
Whatever.
We had a good 4 years.
We had a while with Quibi, and a lot of people don't like it.
Nah.
But
yeah, it's done.
Who cares anymore?
Anyway, should we introduce our guest?
Let's introduce our guest. Let's go ahead and bring them up, please.
So this is Jason Keelburg from the podcast Force 5.
Force 5.
Come on in.
Hello, Jason. How are you, sir?
What's going on, gentlemen? How are you?
Oh, doing great.
Doing
Thank you. We're in Colorado, which is why obviously time zone's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you located?
I'm out in the Bay Area.
Right on.
Which bay?
California Bay Area.
Oh, the California Bay. I don't know. I'm in like the middle of America, so there's not many bays I know of. I guess Tampa's the only one I know.
Oh. So, Jason, go ahead and give people an intro to what your podcast is about. Give yourself a little plug.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. So Force 5 is all about a random guest on every week, and we just talk movies, and it's about top 5 lists. So the guest who's on gets to pick the topic of the top 5 list, and we just go off of that. And it's new every week. It's just a way for me to talk movies while we're in this quarantine.
Yeah, right on. Why podcasting? Why did you choose like this style of media? Why get your voice out there?
Why podcast? Well, because Quibi's dead.
You know what's up.
We know it.
Honestly, YouTube, just for me, the video side of things is just a little bit too much work when it comes to editing. And my mom has always said I've got a face for radio, so that's how we roll.
Yeah, we definitely don't. We have not learned how to do video editing yet, which is why we do a lot of live shows.
I mean, I've got a face for radio, but I've also got a voice for print, so that's unfortunate. Here I am. On both.
Yeah, that is very fair. Speaking of podcasts, what are some podcasts you listen to? What are some things like that inspire you as far as the podcasting world goes?
Aside from Some Nobodies podcasts, let's say the Film Vault was a big inspiration for me with Anderson and Brian. My other favorites, Slash Filmcast, another great one. And then How Did This Get Made with the great Paul Scheer, Jason Mantzoukas, June Diane Raphael. Great.
Dude, Mantzoukas is awesome.
That one's a big intro for a lot of people in the podcasting.
Hey, mine too.
Yeah, same here.
I love that show. Do you have a question?
Yeah, give me just a second. Sorry, it's been a bit of a scattered day today.
Yeah.
So you tend to cover just 5 kind of like you do exclusively movie stuff on your podcast, or is it just kind of envision pop culture as a whole?
Movies or TV. So
Okay.
yeah, the guests will come up with a top 5 topic for movies or TV, and then we each come with our own ideas and we reveal our picks on air. So I don't have the guests' picks before we talk about them on air.
Now, I mean 5, but what brought this idea to be the one that you executed? Why was it this idea that you decided to really follow up on?
Yeah.
So about 4 years ago, I had a Steven Seagal related podcast. I'm always a big movie fan, but we did a Steven Seagal podcast that didn't really work out because he had some allegations and stuff, and we decided this isn't the right man that we want to cover. So
been there.
Yeah. And I started trying to develop an idea where I could have a show that I didn't need to rely on a co-host for, just because everybody's schedules are so hectic. And so I came up with this idea to have just rotating guests so I could work around their schedules. And it just kind of worked out that it happened during a quarantine where people are bored and a lot of guests want to be on podcasts. So that's kind of where the idea came from.
Yeah, there's a real thirst for content right now, and we've seen it ourselves.
Yeah, that's why we make up so many podcasts. We have like 12 right now.
Now, podcasting is podcasting kind of where you're resting right now, or do you have like further goals in media or content or some other sort of like movie TV realm, or is podcasting kind of your goal for right now?
The podcasting is nice as a side thing. Aside from my normal day job, I'm also a screenwriter too. So the things that you come up with are dear to my heart as well. Like that story building world. That's what screenwriting is. So yeah. I've got a couple full length screenplays written, a couple shorts, and then one is in development right now, just that I'm starting. But yeah, screenwriting is my main hobby. Podcasting is kind of emerged as another main hobby, I guess, but it wasn't a side thing before.
Cool. What's your normal go-to as far as writing style? Do you write more science fiction? Do you write more comedy? More of a horror guy? Yeah, obviously, Dylan's into just straight slash horrors nonstop.
Yeah, that's totally me.
The straight up horror is not a genre that I've tackled yet, but I try to do something different each time. So the one that I'm developing now is more of a coming of age slash, I'd say it's like a Fargo black comedy coming of age thing. But the one I wrote before, which I'm really proud of, is more like a Lethal Weapon style action comedy. So I'm all just kind of all over the place with it.
Yeah, right on.
Nice.
One of the
Sorry, you're on mute. I can't hear you.
Yeah, not really sure what happened there. Can you hear me again? Okay, cool. Yeah, so one of our favorite characters is Batman, and there is a lot of different iterations of Batman. So if we were a guest on your show, we brought in Batman, would we kind of fight about which one is the best, or would you tell us your top 5? And then the second question is, who is the best Batman?
Okay, so if you were to come on the show, it'd be like a top 5. Who are your top 5 Batman characters or something, where there's some meat that we can dive into. Or maybe top 5 Batman projects. Best Batman, in my opinion, it's tough because you've got Christian Bale, who I think is a great Batman, but not necessarily a great Bruce Wayne. Personally, I think if I'm choosing my favorite Batman of all time, it's going to be Michael Keaton. Can you guys hear me at all? Yeah, I'd say Michael.
Give us just a second, Jason. We actually lost your audio. I can hear you through my headphones. We lost your audio on the laptop. Yeah. So Zach's just been nodding his head.
Well, I can almost hear. Give me 1 second. Can you make sure Wynn can hear this? If you can hear that, it's fine. We don't need it for very much longer.
He can.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
All right, I guess I'm going to be translating.
Well, I can kind of hear, so that's fine. Go ahead.
What's that?
Well, that's your next question. I can hear it through the headphones.
Is it that loud?
Yeah.
Huh. I guess my hearing's just that bad. Yeah. All right, sorry about that.
Yeah, that will not be in the show.
Hopefully. So Michael Keaton?
Yeah, Michael Keaton is obviously An easy one for a favorite. He's number one. Yeah, he's what people think. All right, so I guess we'll just go ahead and get into it, right?
No, we're not.
Wait, we do have one last question though. What would you say, in your opinion, is the stupidest idea for a podcast? Like one that just makes no sense whatsoever. One of our shows is called Podcast, where we review very bad or under-listened podcasts, and we hear some terrible ones. Some of the ones that kind of stick out as a woman who's on a search to make sure that she can have people's boogers if they want them.
You love that one.
Bring it up every time. It's the one that stands out. And there's one where like a guy reviews car alarms by hitting them and running away. Those are some pretty bad ones. What would you say is one of the worst ideas for a podcast?
I think if you were to start a podcast right now, the worst idea for a podcast would be one based on the merits of Quibi. If you can't tell by now, I hated Quibi.
I don't feel bad for them. They're fine.
Yeah. They had billions of dollars. They'll have billions. They're fine. Okay, cool. So we're going to get into our portion of the show, if that's okay with you. And this part of the show, what we do is we present two ideas, and you pick which one you think would be more interesting for us to work out.
Yeah.
And being that you're a screenwriter and a story maker, this would be very cool for us anyway. So the one that didn't win last week that stayed up there is Dylan brought. Go ahead and talk about your idea.
So this was an idea for a talk show, maybe short form animated or something, about the host is a spider on their web, and they interview the bugs they are about to eat before it eats them. That's about it. That's all I got.
Yeah.
It's called one. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Something like yeah, whatever. But the idea was that it's almost like educational as far as like, hey, what kind of stuff do you eat? You're a bug, and then they get eaten with it.
And then maybe they have to their web gets knocked down or something. Saying,
yeah.
I'm in a new spot this week.
Like a paper puppet show. That would be cool.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so the one that I'm going to bring this week, which I've actually brought up a bit before, and I'm pretty upset about it. There is the idea of the time loop out there in the world, and we've never kind of seen the time loop from a bad point of view or a reason that they would want to stay in the time loop. So I had this idea of like a group of people that get together for somebody's last whatever because a person has, say, cancer, they're going to die. Mm-hmm. They get stuck in a time loop then, and the person that is, almost going to die does not want to get out of the time loop at all. They want to stay in the time loop because that's the only way that they can exist, because every day is the same thing. So this is a thing where friends.
Yeah. I would at the start they're probably friends.
Friends in a time loop. One doesn't want to get out and becomes the saboteur of them getting out. Something, I don't know. There's something about time loops that just interests me. Yeah. And I hate Groundhog's Day. You know that. Yeah. Andy Samberg was very, very good, but I want to deal with one in a different format where they might not want to get out.
Interesting.
So that's it. Maybe evil time loop can't get out. Something. Okay. All right. What do you think?
Time loop.
I like the idea of evil time loop, and I'll tell you why. I think it has a lot of opportunity for depth, especially for those friends that, and I hope this isn't stepping on any toes for the creative process, but if you're that person that is trying to sabotage things and you are essentially on the way out if the time loop stops, then clearly you're probably not in the best condition too. So it's like a catch-22 there. Do I stay with my friends and endure this pain, or do I let this pain stop? And I think there's a lot of drama to be had there.
Yeah.
All
cool.
Right.
Excellent. So real quick, do you want to just one more time give people where they can find you?
Plug your stuff.
Yeah, anything you want to plug, go ahead, and this goes around the world.
Cool. Yeah, check out force5podcast.com. I'm on any major podcast provider. But the cool hook to my show is that if you like movies, anybody can be a guest on the show. So if you go to the podcast website, you will find a submission form. And I just like talking movies with strangers. So if you really want to talk movies, the top 5 list with me, get a hold of me and let's do it.
Right on.
Awesome, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
and
appreciate you coming by.
If you ever want a couple nerds talk movies, that's pretty much all we do. And we're not doing this, which is that also. So cool, man. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time. Have a great rest of your day. And talk to you soon, hopefully.
All right, guys. See ya.
Thank you, Jason.
Later.
Okay.
Cool.
So
You finally get to do this one.
Finally get to do it.
How much have you thought this through?
Not a lot, actually. I had to make it sound enticing because it wasn't, it wasn't getting picked.
Yeah.
But so I did like the idea of obviously there being a person that wants to stay in the loop while the majority of people want to get out.
Yeah.
So it would be at first a friendly thing, but then a sabotage thing.
Okay.
I think that's mostly what I was thinking.
Okay.
But before we get into the story, though, let's just quickly go over. We want to say a quick thanks to some people that make sure that this show keeps going on. IBM TV is awesome. They allow us to keep doing this.
Mm-hmm.
They promote us and they talk about us very, very kindly. We want to say a quick thank you to IBM TV for letting us have the show. If you want to help support the show, you can obviously go to patreon.com and go to Some Nobodies, and you can help do this and help create more things for us, such as Mr. Scott Curtis and his show, Behind the Bits podcast.
Wow.
You have Sarah Tkachik, you have Tanya Sheck, and then you have the Cool Listener podcast app. So on Instagram, you can go to @thegreatestpodcast app and check out everything.
Yeah.
But Arnett, let's get into this real fast. Hey, but thank you though to you too, man. You do a very good job on here, and this is like what, episode 14 now?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do
Time.
you do some good stuff.
You too.
Okay.
So, how are you envisioning this? Because one of the things you have to consider is medium.
Yeah, I like this as a short. I like this as a visual short because I think that the cool part of the time loop is, I think, the beginning and the end of it. You're stuck.
Yeah.
So you wake up the same thing every single day. So no matter what happens yesterday to you, you have the memories, but everything reverts back.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of being in a loop for a while, and then having then waking up and be like, oh god, so yeah, I like a visual short, maybe like 5 to 10 minutes, and just kind of like seeing people at the very beginning of the day, and then what they're doing to get out of this.
Okay. Like multiple shorts or one short?
Well,
because depending on how many characters, you might need either a longer or multiple shorts.
Yeah, I was gonna say, to make the time loop effect feel right, it would need to be multiple.
Yeah.
Or a very long thing, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So I like multiple short things. Because like, say they've been here for a long time.
What's a long time in a time loop for you? Like,
I mean,
Groundhog's Day is the classic, like 1,000 years or something.
Yeah. But it's got to be long enough that like you're tired of attempting to get out.
Yeah.
You've gone through the suicide phase. Now you're just like, all right, I'm here.
Yeah.
So I would say like at like maybe like a 20 or 25 years, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
At that point, you're bored enough.
Yeah.
But you're still testing stuff. Like, I wonder what happens when I do this.
Yeah.
I haven't done this yet.
The novelty hasn't fully worn off, but the monotony has set it.
Yeah, and it's at the point now where maybe half of the people that are in the group want to leave.
Sure.
And the other half don't.
Okay.
So I would like to see maybe 10 to 12 shorts.
Okay.
Of
talking like 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Cool.
So let's work on, I guess, the story arc.
Yeah.
Of the full
we can
thing.
put down a timeline just in general, and then have it be more abstract.
Yeah. So obviously, a part of the time loop is the people. I think that's like the main thing about what's going on. So we're going to need some characters.
I mean, the first one is whoever wants to stick around.
Yeah, so I like the idea of somebody having a terminal illness that because of the way the loop works, it's never progressing.
It never progresses.
Yeah, so obviously an easy one would be like a tumor.
Yeah.
Or something.
Cancer.
So, we're just going to say for right now, let's say person 1, cancer.
Yeah.
Now, they have a group of friends, and let's just say that this is like their party, like a big... Not going away party.
It's like a get your mind off.
It's a big hurrah. Yeah.
If it was a get your mind off the party, then they have to wake up the morning after every time.
Right.
Yeah.
See, and that's kind of cool to see.
Yeah.
So let's just say that it's a big party that they do, and let's say that it has to be somewhere where like some weird stuff can happen.
Okay.
Because I guess so. Groundhog's Day, they don't really ever talk about how they get into a loop or what really happens. But I like there being almost a knowledge of it, because without the knowledge of how you got in, you don't know how to get out.
Okay.
So he has to live in it.
Okay.
Whereas in Andy Samberg's movie, he knows how he got it.
Right.
He can play with it. So I like them having some kind of reason. But let's just say that like it takes place like in the woods or something, and they went camping for like a weekend, like a weekend camping trip.
Oh man, you have to wake up for 20 years.
The
morning after like a big camp party. I like camping, but I don't want to sleep in the woods for 25 years straight.
Yeah, so we're gonna say this is a camping weekend.
Ooh.
And I think that's cool because that way, like, there's a big party that happens the day before, so who knows what's going on. So I would say at most, or at least,
there's someone who wakes up hungover every day.
Yeah, love that. Probably like best friend.
Yeah, the comic relief, I would assume.
Yeah. Okay. So what are some of the things that you would just not want to wake up?
Well, so I think part of the thing that time loops, I think part of the reason that people like it is because it likes to explore the concept of what happens when you take something that lasts not on a short term, but something that definitely has a finality to it, something that is going to end, and you break it down to the point where it doesn't. Like waking up hungover every morning for 25 years.
Yeah.
That just is the worst.
So let's just say, like, hypothetically, like you're in like a relationship when you go into it.
Okay.
But over 25 years, you guys have split up.
You guys have split up, but you wake up every morning.
Exactly, like cuddling every morning. So we're gonna say, like, I think that's cool. Right?
Yeah, that's a lot of potential, like.
So we're gonna say couple
one, couple two. Oh, couple members.
Not two couples, but you know what I mean.
No, I know what you mean.
So person 3, person 4, and I think at the most you need like a 6 people, right? Maybe a couple
at
more
the
depending.
Most, considering the couple acts as 1.5 characters, because a lot of their tension is with each other.
Yeah.
But they have their individual stuff. Maybe one of them is cheating.
Yeah, I think that's very cool.
I don't know. Maybe we'll work. One more. Someone who's desperately trying to get out?
Yeah, somebody needs to get out.
Why? What do they? It should be something in the outside world that they can't really resolve over the course of the day that repeats. You know what I mean?
Now it could be the opposite. They could be like, it could be like their wedding the next day or something.
What if they're married and their like wife like goes into labor in the afternoon?
Oh, cool. So they're in labor when they go to bed?
No, they're like no,
because he wouldn't be there.
He wouldn't be on a camping trip if his wife was that pregnant.
Right.
No, you're right.
Unless she was just like close, and he's like, it's been 25 years. I just want to meet my baby.
Oh yeah,
that's not bad.
Yeah,
just like
so
soon to be father.
And we can combine these as well.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, just some quick character arcs. Or character pieces.
What about someone who is still into the novelty of it, and what if they're the first person to wake up every morning and they're just gone every morning? Like nobody's seen them in years because they wake up and leave.
So almost similar to character 1, where like something bad is going to happen to them, but they don't want to get out.
I don't think even that. I think they're just taking advantage of the repetition.
They're just going out,
and they've gotten sick of these people that they're camping with. So every morning they wake up first and they just leave. And they're mentioned. We don't have to have them as like a character, but we mention. What about? We haven't seen John in 5 years. Well, stuff.
So we're gonna just say that they're loving the loop right
now.
Do you want to figure out a reason that they're stuck in a time loop?
Or the reason is never interesting. Palm Springs, Groundhog's Day did not give him a reason, and it doesn't matter. Palm Springs gave him a reason, and it doesn't really matter except as a tool to bring other people in on it.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think we need
to But it could be a very cool reason.
Like aliens.
Or
forest
witches. Or
forest witch. Like a magic time loop?
Yeah. Because maybe that's the problem that people have with time loops. Is like it's not really explained. I don't know. We'll get to it. Would you like forest magic?
I kind of like the idea of it being like they're camping and they come across like a forest hag.
All right, so we're gonna keep this up here. So forest magic.
Yes, you only come into these woods one day a year, and now you're gonna be here forever.
Or at least a quarter century.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna say forest magic. Like that. Okay. What are some other things okay, so when coming up with like a series where you know you're not telling one story,
sure,
how do you break that down into like an arc setting? Because
we've got 6 hypothetical characters here. We want to do 10 to 12 episodes.
Yeah.
They are 10 to 15 minutes long, or 20 minutes. Or do like TV show, like short, like 20 minutes.
I mean, I guess we don't know yet, but I don't see it being long.
10 or 12 episodes.
Yeah.
And not a series, like a 10 to 12 episode limited series.
Yes.
I think for a time loop, I think it's important to know how it ends, because Groundhog's Day, he gets out.
Mm-hmm.
Palm Springs, 2 of them get out, and one of them is left with that, like, it's possible revelation.
Yeah.
The issue with this is if we have them stay in the, would it be possible for one of them to just hang out in the loop?
Yeah, so let's...
Like, some of them do get out, but some of them choose to stay in or something, and then...
So let's just say that we're still building the rules of the loop.
Sure.
So there is a way to get in and out.
Yeah, okay.
So I think that's kind of cool.
Okay.
So maybe we add like another character or develop one of these characters into them having, maybe they don't know that they can get out, and one gets out somehow.
One gets out.
Yeah.
How do they know they get out? Because if
they don't wake up, because if they wake up the same way every day, then
does that mean they didn't go on the camping trip with him the other night?
Maybe they did go on the camping trip with him, but they got out somehow in the time loop. You know what I mean? Like they were with him initially.
I wonder how to portray that character-wise.
Well, so say that like for like a couple episodes, they're there waking up, and then at some point, like so if you wake up the same way every single day, that means every single person wakes up in the same sequence.
Yeah.
So if say this person wakes up in the middle of the sequence, and then one day they wake up and the sequence is just off. And if you know, and you've been in here for years and years and years,
you notice that
every little thing that's different is going to stand out.
Okay.
So if one person just pops out of the loop, then it'd be like, wait, there's a way to get out of this thing. So that would maybe push some people to try different things because something happened to get them out.
What if one of them wakes up every morning not knowing that they're in a loop, so they have to explain it to them every time?
They have no memory of yesterday?
Something like that. What if they're just not in the loop, but they're there, and they have to be like, well, no, I don't think that. I think that's a different idea. I think that's something that could be worked into a different idea.
Well, how are you there but not in the loop?
Because they are physically there. So imagine like time here,
so
the day, time here. This person's going like this. Everybody else went.
So it's just a non-looper.
It's just a non-loop person, and he wakes up, and everybody's like hyper competent, and suddenly after last night, everybody is like very.
Yeah, and the couple's like, "Hey, what's up with you guys? Last night,
are you guys okay? Is everybody okay? Like,
you were cool.
Everything happened last night." And they're just like, "Do we tell them today?"
Oh, so like in Groundhog's Day, we're like the everybody else in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like one of their friends who was on the camping trip or showed up late or somehow missed the inciting incident is not involved in it.
Yeah, I love that.
And that gives us a way that gives us a window character so that they can sit them down in that first episode and be like, Eric, this is what's happening.
Like, who's doing today?
Who's doing today?
I've done it for the last like 2 years.
Sam?
Fine.
And then they give them the background, and the window character is just like, that sucks.
Yeah. So what have you guys been doing? Yeah. All right, cool. So we got our window character. I like that. So obviously it's going to open with them waking up.
I think
to
show the time loop stuff, each episode has a brief opening that is identical.
Yeah.
Whether it shows like the same bird taking off from the same branch, the same car passing, they're camping, the same
maybe hiker
or something, a runner.
Yeah.
And then each episode focuses on what that character does during the day.
Yeah. And
then they like reconvene at the end, maybe?
Yeah. So
like person one goes into town and they either go to a library and read some books, or they go to a nice restaurant and really blow a lot of money. Like they leave and they blow a lot of money on a good meal. Person two hangs out. I don't know.
Just chills.
I mean, that kind of ruins your eternity.
Yeah, if you wake up every day in a hangover.
That's awful. That's like the
hangover of hangovers.
That's really cruel.
Because you're just so tired of it.
Couple one, whoever's cheating sometimes goes to meet them on their date, and the other person has kind of resigned them. It's like, I'd be doing the same. Why am I not doing the same?
So the day that they wake up, one of the two were going to cheat? Or meet somebody?
Or they go back into town and they decide to meet up with them. I don't know, because if they were planning on camping.
Well, if they're snuggling. But I guess they're still cheaters. Yeah. One's a cheater. Okay.
And then it's like, did you go meet, what's her face again? Not today. She always talks about her dog. Every day I try to steer the conversation. I can only hear about that mutt so many times.
Oh my God, I haven't seen a dog forever.
Or she always talks about the same thing. It's like, well, I guess this is one way to, prove who you're really interested in.
Yeah. So what if, this person who is loving being in the loop, I would assume that we also need to kind of build more rules into the loop.
Sure.
Such as, if you stay up forever, does it start again when you fall asleep, or is it
a sleep loop, or is it a hard reset at a certain point in time?
I think to build this story, we would need a hard reset.
So then the forest witch, or whoever cursed them, just straight up made it what?
It's a forest warlock.
Okay.
A woods warlock.
Okay.
A woodlock.
Sure.
There you go.
Is it midnight, or is it like 3 a.m.?
It's probably 3 a.m. It can't be this exactly midnight.
Yeah. No. What's at 3 a.m.? Witching hour? Is that the witching hour?
You would know. I don't play that game.
What game?
Witcher?
I don't think it's a thing in The Witcher.
Oh.
Time of night associated with supernatural events.
So, yes.
Black magic is effective at this time.
At 3 a.m.?
Oh, yeah. The hour between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. in the Western Christian tradition.
All right. So, let's just say that at 3 a.m.
Yeah. Or do we want it to be inconsistent? Sometime between 3 and 4. And that's the only inconsistency they ever have.
I think that we should start building it with consistencies just to make the loop set.
It is 31 minutes in. You want to give them an intro as to what we're doing for the fresh folk at home?
Yes. Hey, everybody. You're watching Talking Upstream. This is Some Nobodies. That's Dylan over there sipping water. My name is Zach, and we are the Some Nobodies. And what Talking Upstream is a 90-minute writer's room style show where Dylan, myself, and this cool and aggressively shiny whiteboard work out stories. And earlier on, we had a guest from Force 5 podcast, and he chose that we go over Evil Time Loop.
Which we need to get to that evil portion.
Yeah, maybe it's not evil.
But at this point, generally, what Talking Upstream is just a showcase of our process. Normally, we do this sort of thing, and it takes way longer than 90 minutes. But we can only really handle doing this for 90 minutes at a time, and you don't want to watch a 6-hour stream of us doing that. But we might do that for charity at some point if someone asks us.
Oh, we definitely will.
I'll do a Twitch stream of me just writing. I'll screen share my Google Doc and
just you sitting there typing,
and then people in the chat being like, "Take your top off." I don't know.
Weird.
You ever been on Twitch?
No.
It's weird.
Wait, what am I going to do while you're taking your top off typing?
Dance in the background
for
8 hours.
If it's for charity, I'll do it. But we call the show Talking Upstream because what Dylan and I are trying to do is talk our way up to a streaming service. We come up and create different ideas and concepts. Sometimes we turn them into podcasts. Sometimes we turn them into movies. Sometimes we turn them into comic books or board games. Either way, we like talking and making content, and we wanted to show you guys how we do it and why we do it.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're going through an Evil Time Loop, and we're building characters. We're building the rules of the loop itself.
The issue you run into sometimes doing genre or magical stuff like this is that in order to get people on your side in the story, you have to establish a world that they can follow. It should have clear, consistent rules, and it should have a structure to it that people can at least be able to point at and go, I understand why this is the way it is. There's a word verisimilitude, which means that it is internally consistent. And that's very important for genre and sci-fi, fantasy, magic, that sort of thing.
I agree.
Generally, you can get away with a lot. You can get away with a lot of weird stuff. So long as you make it consistently weird and you don't ever have something kind of like not go with what you've established previously. Of course, there are exceptions, as there always are. But for the most part, something like a time loop, you should have clear established rules, which I think is what we're going to work out next.
We're going to try to work on some rules. But like Dylan was saying, like you can introduce and do almost whatever you want as long as it makes sense. A very good topic of that is if you've ever seen the movie Mad Max Fury Road. That movie does not tell you anything. You just watch it happening. You don't know who the people that are all painted white. You don't know why they need steering wheels. You don't know what's happening with any of these characters, but they they treat you and they show you the right thing so that you kind of catch up. So you can get away with a lot, like Dylan said, as long as you keep it consistent, show some rules somehow, and do all that. So we're going to do some rules for this time loop, and we're going to say that at 3 a.m. there is a reset, which means whatever they're doing anywhere.
Does it reset to 3 a.m. the following morning, or does it reset to a time different? Is it a 24-hour reset, or is it less?
No, it's less.
It's less? Okay.
Yeah. It's less. Maybe it does reset, but
they're all asleep.
They were all asleep then, so we pick up whenever the first person wakes up.
Whenever piece 6 wakes up.
But yeah, we're going to say this is a hard reset.
Yeah. And it's a hard reset. Nothing carries over except their knowledge of the people who are stuck in it.
So if you wake up and you're in this campground and you just take a bus to nowhere else at 3 a.m.
You're just running.
You disappear.
You just run.
Yep. And you wake up here. Whenever you wake up, you're just running. Just run. Just run.
How far can I make it in 24 hours?
Yeah.
Or however long a distance I wake up.
And somebody's going to want to do that.
I'd try it.
So we're going to say this person is a runner.
But you never get any gain. You never gain anything because your fitness doesn't ever improve.
Except knowledge and maybe some fun. Who knows?
Yeah.
What are some other rules you want to set?
Do they have? Is there a way for them to get out? Whether they know about it or not, there is.
Yes.
What is it? It's a forest witch. Why did she curse them? And how do they uncurse themselves?
That's a very good question.
Mm-hmm. And it needs to be something they haven't really tried in 25 years.
Yeah. Maybe they don't know what it is.
They don't know.
But there is something.
We should know, I feel.
Okay. Do you have a suggestion?
They got cursed because...
They were littering?
Did they camp? Did they find like a section of like standing stones and it's like a religious site for her or something, like an ancient druid site?
They set their camp on an old Indian burial ground?
Something like that. The modern socially conscious version of that.
Yeah. I'll go by poltergeist rules. So
Steven Spielberg's secret grave.
I guess it could be some sort of hallowed ground. Well, then it would kind of seem weird that she would make them wake up in the same hallowed ground every whenever. Because I would assume that also for the witch, time's linear.
If she can do this, I doubt it.
No, I mean, she lives
not in a loop.
She also can see what they're doing too.
I imagine she is probably outside time if she can do this.
She is of time.
Of time?
And outside.
Yes.
Like all.
Sure.
I
think we're saying the same thing.
Yes. She can see what's happening with these guys and also linearly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, God, I'm glad we got through that.
That was a rough 30 seconds.
Okay. For the next 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any more rules that we have to go over? So there is a way in and a way out.
Yeah, I think so.
So the way out.
They just have to ask nicely, and they haven't done that yet.
Is that all it is? They had to say please?
No. Over 25 years, they would have absolutely said that.
Maybe let's reverse engineer it.
Sure.
Maybe there's one of the people that do get out, they noticed something they did the night before, and they keep trying to recreate that.
Okay.
Like, say the night before, whoever. Do we need our character? Or maybe we do. So somebody needs to get out. Right.
Well, what does getting out look like? Because it could be the non-looper where they wake up and don't remember being in a loop, but they previously did.
Ooh, so they were in the loop.
And then they.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like at the end of spoilers, at the end of Palm Springs when J.K. Simmons is like, "Aha, you did it! Bring me pictures of Spider-Man."
All right. So now instead of a non-looper, this is an ex-looper.
Ex-looper.
Yeah.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
So then they wake up and they go, "So what did you guys do? What did you guys do yesterday?"
Yeah.
Wait, they wouldn't have the knowledge, right?
They wouldn't. No.
Would they have the knowledge of the time they spent in the loop?
So going back to the timeline, like this, that person went like this.
Yeah.
So now everybody else is doing this part, but the version they interact with is the one who went straight through.
Oh, okay. Cool. Oh,
whereas, think of it like the version that was in the loop got replaced by the version that was leading up to it, and now the person outside the loop is the one who went through. So that person is out. And they are trying to find whatever versions of other people have gotten out of the loop. Presumably, they continue to exist after the loop terminates.
Yeah.
This is the question that they never deal with in time loop is, how do people in the future while the loop is going on, like, there's a whole lot of philosophical questions about whether the universe continues or if that person's existence re-loops the entire universe for everybody without them realizing.
Yeah.
I'm more of a fan of that person perceiving a time loop, because I'm not a huge fan of the idea that the universe exists inside the mind of that single person.
No, because that means it's not mine.
Right. But then there's that question of like how people interact with the version of the person who went through it afterwards.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
I think that's beyond what we're doing right now.
Yes, but I do like that. We have to sit on that for a sec. So
a sequel.
So they did something to get out of the loop.
Yeah.
What do you think it is?
I like the idea that they burned something the night before.
Yeah.
So what if it's just straight up like
in the fire, right?
Yeah, you make an effigy of yourself.
And it's gotta be the right effigy?
Not even that, just like they're just whoever the P7 is, they just were like burning random things, and one night they made like a little grass doll of themselves or something, like tied a lock of hair around it and burned that.
But nobody else knows.
But didn't tell anybody or
but
something.
But they know that they threw something in the fire and that's what it was?
Either that or
because like it turned green or something?
Maybe something changed. The next day,
obviously
P7 woke up with no knowledge of what happened.
But my question is, what would make everyone else think that it was the fire specific that did it?
Oh.
Because it could be ending.
I mean, they could see him burn it.
Yes, but would something happen in the burn to make it more obvious?
Oh.
You know what I mean? Because like it could have been the burn thing.
I think the fact that they woke up.
But what about the burning would make them specifically think we need to burn something? That's definitely what got him out.
Oh. Maybe it was just like, I'm just burnt.
Do they have the knowledge that you need to burn something?
They could be into whatever druidic thing they're doing. It's like, normally you have to fire's cleansing. So if we find the right thing, maybe it'll just cleanse this whole loop.
So they got to find the right group of things for that person.
Potentially, or they just have to,
or just make. All right, so there's something about this fire that makes them know that if they throw it in there, they can get out.
Yeah. And they don't remember that. Oh no, shoot! They would remember that last loop then, wouldn't they?
That's what I was asking.
Yeah, I get it.
So either they don't know what they did,
unless they were also very inebriated. Like I burned something.
I definitely burned something.
It was like me, I think. I did. It was like a little doll.
You burned yourself?
No, I put like a. Well, shoot, that would.
Yeah. So, I think it has to be something almost accidental.
Yeah.
And then every morning they're like, "Come on, man, think. What did you do last night?"
It's a copy of Cracked Rearview by Hootie and the Blowfish.
Dude, those are everywhere.
Yeah, they're everywhere, and they never think that burning a copy of Cracked Rearview is
so the magic ghost, the magic forest spirit is the ghost of Hootie and the Blowfish?
Not necessarily.
Because they don't exist. They went somewhere. Well, I know Darius Rucker's doing his thing.
They're just the witch is just a huge fan of Hold My Hand.
Who is it?
Hold my hand.
Yeah.
I miss karaoke. I used to do that one a lot.
That song?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a fun one.
So you're
I got specific comments from strangers in bars telling me that my voice fit that song very well. Strangely enough.
No, I can see that. But what I'm saying is like he threw that CD in the fire, did not remember he did that. And it was like, look, I threw some CD in a fire.
Over the course of 25 years, stuck in a time loop, would you ever believe that throwing a copy of Cracked Rearview by Hootie and the Blowfish in a campfire would free you from the time loop?
But why would he think to put anything in the fire?
Just burning stuff. You never just like burn things when there's a fire around?
I'm okay with that.
Sure.
But then if that has no significance.
I don't think they're doing it to.
Right. But why would they know that it's the fire then? Because if you do something all day long, that 24 hours or whatever, 18, 19 hours, you do something all day long. And you're like, I don't even know what I did. But for some reason, I know that it had to do with that fire. What about that fire that night is like going to stick out in people's minds? That's what I'm saying. Like, if like, say they threw something in the fire and just like, I don't know, I threw something in there and like it turned green and then that's all I remember. or something.
Yeah.
But I feel like
okay.
I feel like the fire needs to be a little more significant if that's what they're going to
Okay.
rely on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I do. They need a reason to go back to it.
So say he was like drunk and was just throwing stuff in the fire.
Yeah.
Is he an arsonist?
You've been camping and just throw random stuff into the fire?
True, but then that means the night before, and every time they wake up, that thing is still at the campsite.
Yeah.
So I would assume that he
Got
either.
it out of his car.
All right. So like, look, something in his campsite. If you burn that,
Yeah.
they'll turn this thing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what happens to the fire when the cracked rearview mirror goes in there?
You hear a brief snippet of
Smoke Darius
"Wanna be
Rucker.
with you.
I want to
More
do
than I can do. They're like, wait, what was that?
Was that smoke? All right, cool. All right, so in the fire.
There's some sort of. Is there
Wait, if they've been in for
25 years?
Didn't we need to find something that's 25 years old? Is cracked rearview mirror 25 years old?
Probably.
Dude, I'm that old.
94. Oh, I'm that old. I was alive when that came out.
Yeah, but I was also in high school when it came out. All right,
I
cool.
was 4.
Yeah, cool.
Of 3.
Yeah. Yuck. All right, so Hootie CD.
It doesn't have to be that.
No,
I
I like it.
being very
It's
innocuous.
got something very random they would never think of. So
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. I don't know why yet, but we'll get there. Okay, so at one night in the middle of okay, do we show this happening?
Bob Dylan was on Only Want to Be With You.
I'm not sure.
Bob Dylan is credited. Oh, never. Okay. No,
Oh,
never
boy.
mind.
Oh boy.
No,
we gotta cut this.
nah.
This is that bit every week where Dylan almost finds information.
I go down a different research rabbit hole every week.
Hey. All right, so there is a way out, and it's the CD.
Yeah.
And are there any more rules that we need to work on?
I think that's good for now.
Yeah, that's fine for now.
I think we need to start working on what actually happens at each point.
Yeah.
Do you want to do...
What episode does that person stop showing up? Because I feel like there needs to be a few episodes beforehand with them in the loop.
You think X Looper needs to be in the loop for like 1 or 2 episodes? I feel X Looper does not have a spotlight episode.
I feel I'm okay with that, but I feel like maybe they're in the background of something. But I feel like we need to see them burning something.
Okay.
Unless we just talk about it.
Oh, that's the end of the first episode. He burns something, and then episode 2 he wakes up and he has no idea what's going on.
But he does remember burning something.
Yeah, the end of the first episode.
All right, so end of episode. We're gonna say P7 gets out. What would you like to see happen throughout the whole episode? So we're assuming that episode, but they've been in the loop for a while.
This is the establishing one, and it ends with X Looper getting out.
So we need to have the beginning is going to be the mimicking beginning of every single one.
Yeah.
And then we need to set some foundation characteristics.
So P6 wakes up first.
And they just dip.
They run.
Yeah.
They get up, they look around, they breathe, they check that it's still in the loop, and they just run.
And then these
They
guys,
leave.
and they have no idea.
Yeah, or it wakes someone up.
All right, so
You know that the reference to the Dolphins in Only Want to Be With You is to the sports team and not Dolphins at SeaWorld?
Huh.
I assumed that he was talking about going to see dolphins at like a zoo and they were just like cute and he cried.
yeah.
Talking about the Dolphins championship draft.
Well,
Makes me like that song a lot. I wasn't a huge fan, but it makes me like it even less.
yeah. Yeah, because like if Dolphins the animal, when they lose, that's sad. When a sports team loses,
I don't care.
they still make millions, I think. Okay, so we're gonna have a quick thing. So P6 just runs.
Yeah.
All right, who wakes up next? Maybe Hangover?
Yeah, I think
Just for the
Hangover
comedic part of that?
wakes up and they know what's there. They walk out holding their water bottle. They go immediately to their car and get some ibuprofen or something.
Yeah. Get some
Because they
Advil.
can't do anything to like prepare for it ahead of time. So they like walk out with their hand over their eyes and they blindly, very competently go to their vehicle and get a bottle of ibuprofen out.
They know exactly where it is. They get it every single day. All right, then we're going to say
A couple.
The
Or
couple?
what are you thinking?
I feel like P1 should probably wake up.
I feel like P1 probably wakes up relatively early and doesn't do anything for like they wake up and they're like, it's another one.
Yeah.
I'm good, and they kind of rest for a little bit. We get like a single shot of them like lying on their back, like just their eyes open, looking up at their tent.
Just enjoying life.
Yeah.
They're living.
And I think the couple, and I think one of them like leaves and the other kind of just
Yeah.
I mean they'll wake up differently every morning. Effectively, like the minute they open their eyes, it's gonna be kind of different every time, but they're not excited about it.
Yeah, we're going to say they wake up and they disengage.
Yeah.
However, 1, 2, 3,
Like
4.
P5 wakes up disappointed.
Yeah. Okay. So P6 they run and they're just doing their own thing or whatever.
Yeah.
We don't really know. But there could be, we should maybe work in there somehow, like how to maybe either touch base with them or see what their maybe like all they're doing now is just see exactly how far they can go.
Yeah.
And
at
then,
this point,
but how do we show that?
I think we do a spot. I think every episode focuses on one of them after that initial opening.
Yeah.
So like the first one focuses on. Do we want the first episode to focus on the ex-looper breaking the loop?
Yes, except it's gonna be hard to not show what they do to get out unless.
Do we not want the audience to know?
So the audience knows what
I
it
think
is?
so.
All right, cool.
That gives them something to. It gives them that dramatic irony.
Yep.
Which, for those who don't know, dramatic irony is a writing tool in which the audience gains knowledge before the characters. So you have this sense that something is happening outside of the character's knowledge, and you have this moment where you have to kind of wait until that's discovered. And it's a good tool. It's like when we know that Alderaan has been blown up before Luke, Han, and the rest get to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like we know they're going to Alderaan. We see Alderaan get blown up. So as they are going towards it, we know they're not going to find what they need.
Yeah.
And then the tension and resolution comes from seeing them arrive there and being like, an asteroid, there's where,
Yeah.
something.
I love that. No, I love that.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, so then who do you think do you want to set focus points for each of these episodes?
I think so.
Let's keep it at 10 episodes for right now.
Yeah.
We have 7 people. We got to figure that out.
That lets us give each one of them a spotlight while also having repeats if we want to revisit anything.
Cool.
I think episode 1 follows 7 on their loop,
Mhm.
ends with them burning the CD and getting out.
Cool.
I think episode 2 follows.
So somebody not very substantial.
I think either hangover or soon-to-be father or cancer, because I think it should introduce a story element.
Yeah.
While also having them react to the fact that 7 has now woken up without remembering they're in a time loop.
All right, so we start episode 1 when P7 wakes up.
Yeah.
When do they wake up in this?
Do they sleep in?
Or do they wake up first?
I don't think they wake up first. I think
it would be cool to have the first episode start with how it's seeing what everyone does.
Yeah.
Because say that they wake up after the runner, then somehow we would need to talk about that, even though they've been living that for a while.
What do you mean? I'm sorry. Repeat what you're saying.
All right. So if we start with P7 and P7 wakes up and that's how the show starts.
Yeah.
And P6 wakes up before them.
Yeah.
We do not see them or hear about them in that episode unless we reference them.
Yes.
We would reference them knowing that they've been in this loop for a long time, knowing that he leaves every...
One of them could check the tent to see if they're hanging out. Like, is Sam here? Nah.
Never.
I don't know why you bother keep checking.
All right.
One of these days.
Do you like that, though? In
What?
movies, when you see people go like, I don't know why I keep asking me that, and you know it's only for exposition.
I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Okay.
It's a tool. It's a
Sure.
technique.
All right, so then the second one you think should follow...
It doesn't have to be also like, it's like he here? He's never here.
Yeah.
Just both having a single line like that.
Who do you think episode 2 should follow?
I think episode 2 needs to be an emphasis on one of the characters' struggles.
So then one of the couples.
Either the couple or I think the couple. The cheater or the one who. What's the other person doing? Research, just kind of bettering themselves, going to the library and reading through every book in the library.
Yeah, they're just learning about lore and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it would be clever if we showed the couple wakes up at slightly different times.
Yeah.
We show the second one first.
Okay.
So the one wakes up by themselves.
Yeah.
And it's like, and we just disappointed.
Yeah. Okay.
And they walk to a library and they read on lore.
Yeah.
And then maybe the next episode we show the first one, them snuggling.
Yeah.
And then wake up like, ugh. And then like,
they get up and I think, do we want to take an episode between those two just to like?
Sure.
Yeah. So episode 3 focuses on P. I think episode 3 we go to either P1 to introduce like this guy has a life or death stake.
I like that.
Episode 4 is going to be P3, the other half of the couple.
Yeah.
And then because they're having relationship issues and 3 follows the cheater, the next episode is P5 because he has to deal with the fact that he's been waiting on his baby for 25 years. That's rough.
Yeah.
Man. See, I like this as a time loop thing because this is dealing with real human, like, technically we have unlimited time.
Yeah, but what if you don't want unlimited time? Yeah. I like that.
The thing about that is that it stagnates.
Yeah.
And there's other stuff.
I need tomorrow to be here.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we got to hit up with like a.
And I think the next episode is when we have.
I think we
6.
I think we should push these back one.
Okay.
And then maybe do like the Hangover, who probably does nothing all day but learn like a new instrument or just does something because they're just annoyed all day. So let's bump these 2 back. So we'll do 2 here.
We want 2 episodes between the couple episodes.
I think
just out of curiosity.
I think that if so, 2 will wake up before them. So we'll see if we do.
Oh, I see.
If we tell the right story, we'll see it happening.
We'll get some foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
And then this one will be 5.
Yeah. And then I think 6 is the next one because we see. I think 6 comes back eventually. I think 6 that day, that iteration of the loop, 6 decides not to leave for whatever reason.
Okay.
And it's like the first time they've seen him in years.
Yeah, love that. That's like a perfect
perception time.
That's like the big plot line. 7 is always like the big here's where the last stretch is going to be. So who have we been with?
Well, that's all the spotlight.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Do we want at that point for them to potentially have a way to get out? Does P6 somehow gain a revelation? And then the next episode is P1's difficulty deciding whether they want to actually allow it.
Maybe somewhere around here we find out somebody else did get out.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like maybe it's 5.
Father gets out after his spotlight episode?
Yeah.
Works for me.
Because somebody's got to dip.
Yeah.
You know, and that forces them all like, there definitely is a way to do this.
Yeah.
We've done it before.
And we see 1's reluctance.
Yeah, 1 is not happy. And then I think the next episode we go back to P1.
Yeah.
And we find out that they're maybe purposely not letting, or they obviously don't want to get out of the loop, right?
Right. Are they actively sabotaging people's attempts, or are they just not going along with it?
I think they are maybe actively sabotaging it.
Ooh, all right. That's going to be a confrontation between 5 and 1.
Well, I think that at this point now they're actively sabotaging it.
Oh, okay.
I think once 5 gets out, that's when it realizes to 1, like, oh, we're all going to get out soon.
Yeah.
I got to stop this. So
I think they need to. I think they need to at least have the option of getting out at the end. I think they need to have the option.
Sure.
If we're doing this as a short and a limited series, I think we do need to end on a final note. Like
so does the last episode end with him with
one waking holding? Up and nobody else remembers. Oh,
just has him at the very end holding the CD over the fire.
And we don't see him decide?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Either that, or it ends with him waking up and nobody else is in the loop at that point.
Love that.
But he knows at that point how to get out if he ever decides to.
And in that episode, we can see him like visiting the places that he kind of went to. It's one of those slow burns, no vocabulary. Yeah. Him maybe listening to that CD. I only want to be with you.
He's like, why this?
And then this is going to be probably a 4.
Okay, so now I think that's a pretty good map, actually.
Because I think this makes sense too.
Oh, that's their like reconciliation decision moment.
There's something. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree.
And I guess another person we're not really touching on is Hangover, who doesn't care what
Hangover wants to get out so that he can be sober.
Right. So he just I think that's a great timeline.
That's a really good one.
All right, we're at the hour mark. Do you want to quickly summarize what we've been doing?
So this is Talking Upstream for those of you just tuning in. My name is Dylan. This is Zach. We are Some Nobodies, a creative group out of Colorado. And this is Talking Upstream. Did I say that already? This little...
I don't know. Say it again.
This is Talking Upstream.
Definitely did
it. It is an abridged version of our regular content creation meetings, in which case we use this whiteboard, some guests, and our own creativity to take an undeveloped idea and produce something that we can hopefully build it upon.
Yeah.
This week, the chosen idea was an evil time loop, which started off as the idea that a bunch of friends are in a time loop and one of them doesn't want to get out because of a terminal illness. And it's become this kind of exploration of human perception of time and wanting time, but not the same span of time.
I really enjoy the idea because it seems so far that everyone would like being in a loop. Everyone would like the idea of having infinite time, right?
Yeah.
But I do thoroughly enjoy the idea of hanging out with people that don't want time.
Yeah.
With one person that obviously wants infinite time.
Well, this is an interesting, so we're doing a time loop story, and this is a really interesting portrayal of it as being something that we've got a big group of people stuck in this, and some of them want out and some of them do not, and some of them are having their own interconnected nonsense.
Yeah. Is there any way a person could get into the loop? I don't want to deal with that.
Let's not do that this time.
I don't like that.
There might be something there, but
all right. When do we want to?
I think 6 finds something out. Or finish your thought. I was interrupted.
No, you're fine. Because I'm pretty sure you knew what I was going to say. What I was going to say is, do we want to stick with this?
Okay.
And then how do we represent this?
Represent the force magic thing?
Yeah.
I think 6. I think the 6th episode. I think the one. I think it's primarily that person describing what they've been doing, why they've been doing it. Yeah, and then finding out, like maybe they're just running in the mountains or the woods, and they come across the witch.
So what? So is what they've been doing like important to the finding out? Like maybe we don't know what they're doing and we think they're just joking around.
I think initially no, and then at some point on their run they saw something and they started kind of investigating it.
Maybe they heard of people that have been in time loop, and because they only have one day to investigate or discover, they have to keep going to the same people.
What if they go on to one specific backcountry trail, and for most of the time, all the wildlife, it's in 3 seconds a robin's going to be there, in 5 seconds a deer's going to cross the path, and one day they round a corner in the trail and there is just a massive a moose or something totemic and wild or something in the middle of the path, obviously out of place, and he goes, I got to come back here because this is something.
Now, does that happen early or does that happen this episode?
I think that episode is.
So, are we going to see multiple days?
I think that episode is 6 recounting what they've been doing.
Cool. So, all right. So each of these people, it's not what they do per day; it's what they've been doing in this loop.
I think these first ones are what they've been doing, and then I think 6 breaks the episode cycle by recounting what they've been doing. And that's when we kind of get the idea that this is something they can get out of.
Okay. So this is our revelation point.
Yes.
Which is a moose.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I like that.
It's like
I said mouse.
It's like a moose with like moss or flowers or something blooming on it. Something that is very odd. Like I'm imagining something kind of striking.
Trees out of its head.
That's not bad.
That's cool.
Did you see The Ritual on Netflix?
I did.
Yeah, it was fine.
That was a cool looking beast.
The monster design is very good.
Very, very good.
With the arms coming out of its head.
Yeah.
It's got a cloak.
And it just grabs things.
Yeah.
Dude, it was really creepy. But I liked it.
The movie itself was fine.
Movie was,
Yeah.
I won't say fine.
I use fine in like it got, C's get degrees.
Would you watch it again?
I would consider doing it because of the monster design.
Yeah.
It was not bad enough to turn me off it. But I haven't had a reason to go back.
Yeah, that's fair. All right.
Okay. Do we want to go through and kind of hit bits on what these episodes are now that we've got kind of an overall arc going?
Oh, yeah.
So, Ex-Looper wakes up, and I'm assuming we're going to present this as a pretty standard start, where it's like, wakes up, it's another day, we establish some routine.
This is the entry.
Oh, sure.
Right, we know that.
Yeah.
So we're going to have establishing routine, we have the entry, we have the whole dynamic of what we're doing, the world in itself. What do we learn in that episode? Just the basic...
I think the basic we establish the universe.
Who the characters are.
Yeah. What if the reason that this day P7 decides to burn that CD is because they hear some song from it every single day? Only they do. And then they get back to camp that night and they're like, I'm just so irritated.
Okay. Now, what if that song is the song that makes these two realize every night or something? It's like, oh, when is our wedding song? All right, fine.
Are they married?
Sure.
Okay.
That makes it way worse. Sure,
it
they're married.
does. Oh, and they can't get divorced. They wake up with each other every day.
Yeah,
Yikes.
they're married. But that's like maybe their wedding song for some reason because they got married in the 90s. Who knows? And so the one night that it gets thrown in there, he's like, I'm just sick of what you guys do. Ah! And then the next day, like, there's no way it could have been that CD, right?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So what happens?
What if they all have?
What happens in part 2?
What if they all have some sort of history with that album, like some
That
song
song?
on the album? Hootie and the Blowfish in general. What if they all have some sort of background event tied into that?
With that specific CD?
Sure.
Yeah.
A song off that CD or something.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
There's at least
playing
7 solid
It was
songs.
playing when I had my first kiss back in middle school.
That was my prom night.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I like that.
My 5 is like my wife and I met and just like, I realized that she was the one at a concert.
Or he was doing like an open mic thing, and that's like one of his cover songs.
Yeah.
And he's like,
It's a karaoke song.
I was doing my version of Only Want to Be With You.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's cool.
They all have something type of Hootie and the Blowfish. Why not?
I love it. Yeah, that's cool.
I'm into it.
All right, Hootie's a big deal.
And that means we can set this in like 2001 if we wanted to.
Yeah.
Make their stuff a little retro.
It could be a period piece.
In like 96.
Dude.
Like 2 years after that, and Hootie and the Blowfish
I love
are
it.
huge.
That makes sense. I probably have all my clothes from 96.
It does avoid
cell
the
phones.
tech stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
That
it
makes
gives them
sense.
a bit more reason to be like, you got to drive into town to do stuff.
Okay.
It's like, well, I have a good 11 hours before we reset. Do I want to spend an hour and a half of that driving into the city? I mean, what else are we going to do? You only brought Battlefield Earth to read. Yeah, that was a joke.
Let's just go to the mall. Why go to the mall every day?
Yeah, but this time, what? You want to cause trouble at the mall? Kinda.
That girl works at Haagen-Dazs that I like. Oh, the mall.
Yeah, you didn't have a little bit of mall culture in this.
All right, so Hootie's big.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Episode 2, it focuses on 4.
Episode 2 works on couple number 2, who is not the cheater.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think it's better if they wake up second and not know.
That way we learn that the other one is cheating later.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, 4 wakes up and is not enthused about waking up next to this person. That's also when they have to realize that 7 got out. That's also when that episode is when they need to realize that 7 is done.
Yeah. Wait, which episode is that?
Two.
Two. Okay,
Because
cool.
that's the day after, I would assume.
So they wake up late, and so if they wake up late day 2 or episode 2, and they go, oh, wait, who's the cheater? The guy or the girl, or they both? What?
I don't know.
Do we got to gender them? I guess it doesn't matter yet. So like, oh, I bet they're with so and so this time, and they go out and like, or as he's saying that or thinking that, it's like, you got to get out here.
Yeah, he gets woken up differently than normal.
Yeah.
Which is not usual.
Yeah.
Either gets woken up. Someone wakes them up.
Yeah, somebody, not 3, wakes him up.
They discuss 7 getting out.
Yeah, maybe 3's like in the car or something. They go, oh, where's 3? Is she at her lunch date? And then 3 walks in, like, no, I'm right here.
And then what does 4 do the rest of the day? Because I feel like that would kind of hijack your attention.
True.
Or do we do a bit where the start of that episode is them waking up and having a discussion, and then we immediately cut to them waking up again like normal, and it's like, are they still out? Yeah. I'm going into town.
So then it shows 4 waking up a couple times before learning.
Either before learning or after, where they've realized they can't really get any information.
I think it might be before.
Okay.
For a little bit.
Okay. But then, does that not mess with the timeline? Because if the night of episode 1 is 7 getting out.
Okay, so our story is linear. Is that what you're saying?
I would, as opposed to jumping around a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that'd be harder to keep track of.
I don't see a reason to do it either.
Because if we did, true. All right, that's fine. Okay, cool. So then so if they get out that episode, that means their whole day.
However, we should do at some point a Memento style time loop.
Oh yeah.
That would be weird.
Reverse it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
of course.
it's not.
Yeah. Back in. Middle out. Middle in.
Outward in.
Out to middle here. Reverse look on.
Nobody else has done it.
Of an outward in time loop?
No one is. I can't think of an outward in style like Memento.
What is the middle of the time loop then?
I don't know.
So it's them getting into it.
No, we're not.
I'm just working it out right now because I'm interested. Whatever. Okay.
We'll file it away for next week when I recommend my time loop.
The middle season. Better time loop.
It's about they had their magnum opus, but they can't publish it because of the time loop.
Do we ever talk about forest magic?
I think they bring it up and they just kind of roll their eyes at it.
Yeah. And if one person is doing research, I guess they would talk about it at some point. Like, you don't think anything? You don't think it's this, right?
No.
Okay, that's a moose with trees coming on his head. Why would that be it? You don't want to reference?
Oh no, we can. It feels like at a certain point it would become futile for them to reference it. Like,
yeah.
Do we have anything new? No. All right.
It would be kind of weird to not bring it up at all, and then there's one episode.
True. Yeah.
2/3 in, it's like, okay, now there's this moose tree.
In episode 2, if they're reacting to 7 getting out, they would have to bring up like, what do you think that? Do you think that he like found that witch yesterday and she took him out?
What if? Okay, so if he's doing all that stuff the night before, what if, say, at 3:00 instead of it resetting, like something slightly different happens?
Like there's an incremental change of some sort.
Yeah, like maybe they stay up to 3:30, or they stay up a little bit late. Just something that lets them know. Because I feel that if it is fire related immediately, it is always gonna be fire related.
Sure.
And there's only so many things I think that person can throw in the fire.
What if it's at some point between the 3 and 4 a.m. hour? It's never like very consistent.
Well, what I'm saying is like,
or are you saying the loop is perpetuated through something going in the fire?
Yeah, the loop changes slightly that night because of the events of the fire. I just feel like if a lot of the time is the stuff is in the fire, then the rest of all of this is the people going like, let's just throw everything in the fire. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think either the fire is more important, and then that's why he doesn't normally put in the fire, or yes, it is the fire. I don't know.
I think we should try working out the
unless forest magic drops some kind of hint somehow. I don't know what it could be, or maybe forest magic is like everything's cool here.
What if they use
except that fire?
What if they use some sort of fire thing, like something in the fire at the start to start like you burned wood from this magic tree.
Oh, so we like maybe in the end of episode 7, it's like, you're really gonna light that friggin' magic tree on fire again?
Mm-hmm.
You know what happened?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
All right. So we do forest magic in this episode.
Yeah.
We probably got to talk about it. One of these, probably here or here.
If 2 is trying to get out of the loop, we could have a research moment where he's where he's considering magic, and he kind of like rolls his eyes, and then realizes I'm stuck in a time loop. It could be anything.
Yeah. So
who am I to say it's not this?
So we learn about it.
Yeah.
Maybe talk about it. See it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
So what is?
Yeah. What's the rest of 4?
What is 4 doing in episode 2?
I would say 4 wants out, maybe.
Yeah. Yes, because I want to get out of this relationship.
They want to get on to fixing their relationship.
Okay.
In
they
their
haven't
minds.
completely given it up yet?
No.
Okay.
The first person's cheating. The second person still wants it.
I feel like that second person would at some point find out about the cheating.
Well, they know.
Okay.
Yeah, they definitely know. And they want to work on it.
But it's extreme circumstances.
They've been in a time loop, bro. Even though, yes, there was a chance that 3 was going to do something the day after. We don't know.
So what does 4 get up to on a standard day loop?
It's tracking 3 sometimes.
Yeah. I don't think we do that yet because I want the cheating to be found out when we do 3.
No, we don't know. I think we hint to it here. Like it was.
Are you going after John today? Probably not.
No, not today. I know where he is.
I can go there anytime.
So their normal day now they know that there's a way out. So their day is built around finding knowledge.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of inquiring of 7, like, what did you do?
Okay.
It's like, I don't know, man. I threw some stuff in the fire. I drank this thing. I passed out. I don't know.
What are you talking about? Yeah.
It's like, what'd you all day yesterday? Literally nothing.
I was with you all day yesterday. We got ready to go camping. No, like in the loop. What loop? And then, yeah.
So wait, they don't remember the day before?
They have effectively been excised from the loop and replaced with a version that just goes straight through.
Was their last night the actual yesterday to them, or was the first night their yesterday?
The first night was 7's yesterday in this version. Once they get out of the loop, it effectively replaces them with a version of themselves in the loop that has not experienced it.
Cool. So
it replaces them with an NPC.
So then it goes down to what 4 remembers 7 doing.
Yeah.
And is recounting the whole day.
Yeah.
What is 7 doing that episode?
Hanging around and wondering why everybody's being so weird.
Yeah, cool. Do we?
7 is a doppelganger is a fake main character.
Yeah.
From the first episode.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Okay.
I just don't know if they would like leave because it's freaking whatever. I guess every day.
That can be kind of an
any
exposition episode where 4 kind of grills 7 and gives them a rundown. Episode 3. What does Cancer do? I like the idea that they're kind of like go to a nice restaurant. They go into town.
Yeah, they're just enjoying life. They're maybe they go to like a museum. And when they come back,
they go to a local museum and it has an exhibit about how the early settlers ran afoul of the mysticism of the area.
Background exposition.
A little bit.
I like that. That's cool. And then by the time they get back, 4 is still grilling 7, and then they're like, "Don't worry about that."
Yeah.
Like, come on, there's stuff we could be doing.
They got out. I'm sure you can. You can.
You probably can't. Who knows? So yeah, 1 just shows them living life, maybe talking to. Oh, what if like they're talking to their parent? You know, like there's that thing like
calling their parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the parent doesn't really want to talk to them, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's just like another day.
It's
like they're busy.
Well, yeah, but 1 has cancer.
Then I understand, but like, it's not like they're. Yeah, that's fair.
I like the idea that 1 calls their parents and tries to get new conversations out, but it's starting to grow stale.
Oh, it's the same conversation.
It's like
they're having like they're having a party because he's away for the weekend, so they're just jazzed on the party. That's all I talk about. It's like the Reynolds are coming over. We haven't seen them in years. Like,
Yeah.
I know. But listen, like, do you remember, it's like that kind of,
Yeah.
I like that. And then they finally get back to camp, and then that's when they learn, maybe, that there's a way out.
Is that the same day?
It doesn't have to be, but they could have just been.
I kind of like the idea that it kind of is. Yeah. And one doesn't really care that 7 got out.
Yeah.
Like
No.
we see them acknowledge it in episode 2, and then they leave, and we're not sure why. And in episode 1, we drop the reveal that yes, he is terminal.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. And then that means 2's it's like
2's doing research.
It's a filler episode though.
Yeah.
So it's them goofing around, waking up, hungover, eating something gross probably.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, I guess I'm gonna go to this section of the library, and then maybe having them look at a bunch of books, and then somehow coming across forest magic and maybe somehow an account of other time loops. Maybe he goes on conspiracy theory chat rooms, because that was a thing in '96.
Yeah, they
chat
go
rooms.
to Usenet.
They go to Usenet, yeah. After leaving rotten.com.
Ooh, yikes, they're a scumbag.
Yeah. Dude, 96 is like 7 websites.
Oh, yeah, I know. Anarchy text files.
Yeah, Anarchy cookbook.
Get put on a list.
3, we find out.
That's when they go into town for their lunch date, and they try to. I think we get a little bit of 2 repeat where they try to guide the conversation. They kind of realize that this doesn't provide much for them anymore.
Yeah, maybe 3 is like them breaking up with their cheating person. And it's like, look, it's only been like a week. It's not that big of a deal. And 3's like.
Wait, the person breaks up with 3?
No, I think 3 goes to break up with the cheater, the cheatee.
The cheatee?
And it's brand new to them.
Yeah.
It's been like just a couple days. It's like, what the? I understand you're scared. It's okay. It's not that big of a deal. But what is the plot line in this one?
I think that might be it.
That's it?
I think that's kind of it.
Just them having had cheated.
And realizing that it's kind of grown stale on them.
Yeah, it's not that great.
Yeah.
Because 4 is still trying. Yeah, I like that. I feel like there needs to be something with 1 in there. Because I think that we got to start spattering 1.
What if the cheatee asks, like, how's your, did your friend like his party? I can't imagine. It must be really difficult. And 3 is just like, they've gotten kind of used to it.
Yeah.
they've kind of come to terms with it.
He got used to it. He just got diagnosed.
Got diagnosed like 2 days ago, didn't he? Something like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Because then you can really get into like what's up with 1 and why he's so shifty, why he's taking his time. And then this one.
That's a heartbreaker.
This one's going to be a tough one. Because
calls his wife.
Yeah.
Obviously.
She's so fine. Like she's
so fine.
She's elated. She's having like a great day. It's a perfect day for her. She cannot wait for him to get home, but she wants him to have, please, no, don't worry about me. Have fun with your friends. You don't get to do that very often. He's like, no, I just want to talk to you. She's like, hun, we have forever. Take your time.
She's so fine. Simply irresistible.
Oh God, you've been sitting like the whole time. Pretty hearing that. All right, and then
be permissible.
No one likes that.
No.
What was that person's name? Palmer? Robert Palmer?
Is that it? I think so.
Yeah.
There was who's that woman who did the parody music video for that? Ding, 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 ding. Gretchen something?
I am sorely mistaken. I have no idea. All right, so we go back to P1, and now that we know that there is the diagnosis set in, we know that all this stuff, we know why they want to stay in. And is this an episode, like this is Sabotage, right? So
which episode is Sabotage? We haven't done
Oh, this one.
Well, what else is in episode 6 with 5?
It's him.
He calls his wife, but what else, is there anything else in there?
I think it's maybe that's him breaking at the camp, forcing, like emotionally breaking, forcing like things into the fire, like all
yeah, he comes back after talking to his wife and just starts throwing stuff.
I gotta get out of here. I need to get out of here.
Yeah, cool. And then episode 7 with 6, who is loving the loop. That's kind of the exposition episode.
Yeah, I don't know how much of his days, this person's days, you want to see.
I think we do a montage.
Yeah,
Where
so
it
it's
shows
got to be
him
stuff.
running in a certain environment. It shows him getting hit by a car and waking up the next morning.
Mhm.
It shows him. He's the one who's been experimenting with the loop.
Yeah,
He's the one who does all of the experimental stuff. He
And-
jumps off the clock tower. He does he saves the person outside the diner.
maybe in a couple of these episodes, like a couple of things have changed when they wake up,
Oh,
and it's him just playing around.
does a bunch of fun looping.
Yeah, like one day he like goes into one of the tents and just like draws like a heart on somebody's face, and they go, "Hey,
I thought that was a chain.
that's something."
And that was early on. Yeah, it was 15 years ago. I mean, it was this morning, but
I've been putting this heart on my face every day, thinking, or whatever. And then it shows them coming across this thing, and then I guess maybe it shows him or this person finding this book or finding something. There has to be a reason that they think it was a forest
Hootie
creature.
and Blowfish.
And, well, that's the second part.
Yes. I think finding a book makes, well,
If like say that, I don't know if they would
find
have
answer in
the
capital letters so we can find it later.
Find the answer.
And then I'm only kind of rushing because we got 4 minutes left.
Oh yeah, but that's when 5 gets out. More demise of
5
one.
gets out in 7?
Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe
Do they find out in
oh
7?
maybe P6 comes back to the camp and was
Mhm.
like, turns out you guys set fire to something a long time ago, and that's what he learns.
Yeah.
It's like you shouldn't burn shit.
Is 5 out at the start of episode 7, or do we find out during 7?
We find out during 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like it starts another day or something in the middle of it, and 5 is different.
Either that or he gets out this episode off screen or something,
Yeah.
and then 8 opens with 5 out, and that's when a lot of things are gone.
And then episode 8, that's
It's-
when.
It's the couples.
Nope, that's episode 9. Episode 8 with 1.
Oh yeah, this is the sabotage.
He wants Sabbath. How?
Now they know that there are
What's
things.
He keeps extinguishing the fire. Like
Keeps putting on the
people
fire.
come back and realize the fire's been out.
Keeps hiding random things around the camp. Like people are like, hey,
Yeah.
where's all the stuff? You know, I see it because he knows now there's something in the camp.
And that's kind of the emotional breaking point where we. Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I get it. All you guys want out. That's cool. I don't. I need to stay in here.
I'm
I'm
gonna
sorry.
die awfully.
If I get out of here, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's cool. And then 3 and 4 say that's when they get together and
Do they reconcile, or
They-
do they realize they've had their time and they part their ways when they decide to leave?
I think that they probably reconcile.
What if one of them leaves before the other does? So one of them wakes up and the other one wakes up and they're back to their sappy self, and the other one wakes up and they are still in the loop.
Ugh.
And then that's their moment where they're just like, if I get out of the loop, I don't know if I'm going to remember anything, but I can't do this one again.
Or you do the opposite thing where like the one who wants the relationship gets out first, which makes the second one have to decide like, do I want that relationship or do
Yeah.
I want something else?
They wake up separately in and out of the loop.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yikes.
Because at some point one of them found out.
And in the last episode, it's
Oh,
one.
and then them taking maybe the CD and it's like, this is all that we had. This is all
it.
that we had. And they throw
And
it.
they find it.
Yep.
Discovers who to answer. And then episode 10 is one
Wakes up alone.
Wake up alone, or do they wake up with whoever of the relationship is still hanging out? Unsure. And then eventually, halfway through the episode, they make their decision to
P1
leave.
and the last couple member, and then couple member leaves in the middle of the episode, right? And then we end with P1 not knowing if they want to leave or not.
Does the cheater or the cheated on stay?
The cheater is the one who stays later.
Okay, so we didn't determine. Oh, we did determine that was 3.
3 is a cheater.
Hang
4
out.
four is the
P3
lovebird.
leaves. It's ambiguous if P1 leaves.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good job.
We did it. Right on the wire. 1 minute to go. You want to
That's a whole season. Okay, folks, thank you very much for watching. This has been Talking Upstream. My name is Zach. This is Dylan over here. We are Some Nobodies. If you're interested in anything that we're doing, please go to somenobodies.com and check all of our stuff out. A couple quick thanks. Number one, and most importantly, IBM TV. Thank you so much for letting us take up airspace and your time all the time. Thank you so much. Thank you to Force 5 Podcast and Jason for coming on here and talking about that. Thank you to our Patreon members who are Tanya Sheck, Sarah Tukachik, Scott Curtis, and Listener App. And thank you to our awesome producer, Wen, who puts up with us more often than he probably should.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that, and him. Thank you guys very much. See you next week. I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Jared Gleason for the music.
Jared Gleason.
All right, we're good. Thanks.
Thank you.